Epilogue, Backyard Tree Removal, William Hovey Smith, 2012.
I'm Hovey Smith, the Backyard Sportsman, and this is Backyard Tree Removal, Epilogue. Yeah, we done it. What you see behind me is the remains of a very large pecan tree that fell in my backyard. Well, what did we learn in this nearly 2 weeks it took me to work up this tree by myself? We started off with phase 1, and that consisted of picking up all of the loose stuff on the ground. Then we went to phase 2, which meant using hand tools to lop off the small branches. Phase 3, using small chainsaws. Phase 4, bigger chainsaws. Phase 5, moving the trunk away from the main tree. Phase 6, burning the stock. And now, we're finally done. The wood is behind me. It's all stacked up now. And that's going to sit there and age for a while, and then we'll come and split it up. Now, this isn't a big pile of wood by woodpile standards, particularly if you live in Maine, Alaska, Montana, or such places. I mean, their wood piles get quite respectable. But I'll use this mostly for barbecuing, and I'll also make some charcoal out of it. Now, what did we learn? Several interesting things. If you're going to do this, 2 chainsaws. One small, one large. The reason is the lightweight chainsaws will do for a lot of work, cutting stuff 4 to 6 inches in diameter quite easily. But you'll need a bigger one to actually work up the bigger sections of the trunk. All right? If you get chainsaws and you're working up wood like this pecan, you want to get on it as quick as you possibly can, because the drier it gets, the harder it gets, and the more difficult it is to cut. Promise, really is. So you want to get on this stuff in a hurry. Now, when you get your chainsaws, go ahead and get you 2 extra chains to go with it. Yeah. So you're working on this pecan, a hickory, or something like it. Yeah, you're probably going to need them. And maybe you don't have a chainsaw shop handy to sharpen them up every day. I don't. Mine is 90 miles away. All right. You also want to get yourself a jug of bar oil and a jug of 2-cycle engine oil, just to start off with, so you don't run to the store every once in a while. Plus, you want to use non-alcohol containing gasoline in these chainsaws. Promise you do. All right. What else you need? You'll also need a maul, and you'll also need to get you about 3 of these 5-pound wedges. These are very useful for breaking heavy rounds, as well as freeing your chainsaw blade if it gets stuck. So these are worth having around. Well, you know, the reason I did this myself is to save money. It would have cost $4,000 or so to work up this tree and the other 3 trees I had knocked down during the storm. So we did it all myself, except for having a tractor in here once to help move some of the bigger pieces. Now, how much did this cost? Well, it weren't free. Wound up buying a new chainsaw. Okay, that's $155. I wound up having a bunch of chainsaw work done on the 5 pieces of old chainsaws I was using. Yeah, these things sort of sometimes ran. And so ultimately, I had about $200 worth of chainsaw work done on keeping these old saws sort of half-ass running. Well, we got them running and we got the stuff cut. So they did that. Okay. Then what? Well, you probably need to add another $50 worth of gas these days to the mix. So now we're getting up, between more than $500. Yeah. If you're going to work up a big tree like this, however you do it, even if you do it yourself, yeah, there's going to be some real cost involved. Injuries? No. Promise? Didn't have one. Didn't even nick myself. Some small scratches maybe, but that's it. Okay, be careful. You don't want to hurt yourself doing this. I moved all of this by hand. So, yeah, I got a lot of good exercise out of it, and that did me some good, physically. But you need to be careful, particularly with these chainsaws. They can hurt you in a hurry. Take your time. Get it done in stages. Get it done safely. Make sure you have a clear area around your feet when you're sawing, so if something shifts or something moves, you can do it. And incidentally, we also burned up the stump. So, there are 6 videos concerning the various stages of moving this huge old backyard tree. So if you got to do it, you can. Just take your time, be careful, and you can get it done. Just to give you another general view, this is a burn pile where I burned up all of the small stuff. And you can look further back, and in the shade underneath the tree is actually the pile of wood that you just saw. And then over this way, you'll see a standing piece which I'm going to use for a backstop. And now we're approaching the actual area where the tree stood. And this is where this tree stump was burned out. And you can see a little residual wood left there. The fungus has already got on it. That's not going to last too long. But yeah, scrapes and scars in the yard. Now I did tow some of this with my lawn tractor and also my pickup truck from time to time. So I didn't do it quite all by hand, although as much of it as I could, I did move by hand. So at any rate, this works up for several thousand pounds of wood.
I'm best known for my book, Backyard Deer Hunting, Converting Deer to Dunner for Pennies per Pound. But I've got others too, Crossbow Hunting, Practical Bow Fishing, and my newest, Extreme Muzzleloading. For more information on my books, blogs, videos, and radio show, Hovey's Outdoor Adventures, go to my website, www.hoveysmith.com. Good hunting and good eating from the outdoors. Goodbye and God bless.